Good evening, flat fans, and welcome to In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. It's a classic weekend as we go to Newmarket for 2 days on Saturday and Sunday after today's action as well. And we see whether we've got another superstar in the making or if the hype machine has been going into overdrive for no reason whatsoever. As City of Troy, who was so impressive as a 2-year-old, comes back to see if he can train on and win the Guineas for the Ballydoyle battalions. Will he be a Churchill or will he be a St Nicholas Abbey in the Guineas tomorrow? Will he bolt up or bomb out? That's the question. I'm sure we'll have plenty of opinions on that. The 1,000 Guineas, of course, is significantly more open. Plenty of the better fancied horses over the winter haven't turned up, but even if they do, the 1,000 Guineas is a pretty fiendish puzzle to solve. But we are here to try and solve it for you. We'll also be trying to solve all the other races at Newmarket, of which I think there are about 36 of them from what I can tell, and each of them all have double-figure fields. So hopefully we'll have extra places, we'll have offers and boosts, and yeah, it feels like one of those days that if we can get into the thick of it, we might get a nice price winner or two. Or alternatively, back at horses who bolt up on their side and then get beaten by 4 horses on the other. But like I said, the flat is back. That's what we've got to look forward to. It is live and interactive as ever, so get involved on the chat box. Who have we got so far? Lee Richardson, Duncan Evans, Kevin Collins, Dan Croker, and George Murray. Good evening to you. George Murray says, well done, had you at 1:01 coming on air after the 6 o'clock at Punchestown. Yeah, of course it is an evening of classic anticipation, but there is currently a Grade 1 hurdle going on over in Ireland. But anyway, 2,000 Guineas to look forward to tomorrow. Let's introduce our panel. First things first, the man to my left, who's definitely had at least 2,000 Guinness in his time to get excited about the weekend. The flat's back, Keels, how are you feeling?
Flatback, yeah, all right, yeah. I'm sort of looking forward to it. I mean, I think we can miss the 6 o'clock at Punchestown, can't we? 2-7 favourite, 4 runners, and
yeah,
you know, let's get stuck into some proper flat racing from now on.
Newmarket today, of course. The usual shenanigans on the track, or at least you don't want to be too far away.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I mean, it's funny because the forecast over the last couple of days suggested the wind was going to turn around, but they said there was still the minor tailwind today. Yep. It might be a little bit different tomorrow, but you know, when there is a tailwind, it always amazes me. I mean, I'm sure jockeys ride to orders, of course, but even in a 4 or 5 runner race, you can get a horse sitting 6 lengths off the lead, and you think, what's all that about?
Yeah,
you've literally got no chance straight away.
Yeah, I mean, unless you go off a blindingly searing gallop, even Newmarket, the worst you want to be is mid-dip.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's all about pace, isn't it? But they all know it when you've got the wind behind you, and obviously it's a lot of it's downhill. I know it comes up a little bit later on, but you know, just sitting so far off it doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah, and obviously from a punting perspective, I imagine an odds-on shot in a race like the 2,000 Guineas tomorrow is kind of begging to be taken on. But are you hoping that we see a superstar?
Well, I think we all are, whether we're going to take him on or not. I think that, we all like to see superstars, don't we?
Yeah.
It's different, I like to see him prove it, and I'm the sort of person that tends to take them on more often than not. Not saying I'm necessarily going to this time. But I think we all want to see him anyway, whatever we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Tom Segal then. The flat is back, Mr. Segal. And again, we've got draw biases, we've got wind directions, we've got ground conditions, we've got horses being held up off the pace when you want to be on the speed, all that jazz. But yeah, hopefully we might see the second coming in the 2,000 Guineas tomorrow. It's the next Frankel and all that. Or, like I said, we could finish 6th, come home hands and heels, and be interested to see what the headlines say afterwards. What do you think is going to happen?
What I think is going to happen is that State Man's going to win, funnily enough.
Right, okay, yeah.
Which he just has. Well, the question, we always compare Willie Mullins and Aidan O'Brien, don't we? But the thing I think about Willie Mullins is he very rarely misses. He's missed a few times this week, obviously, with a few of them, but by his stablemates. But Aidan, at this time of the year, you just don't know what you're going to get. He's had 21 favourites, I think, in the Guineas, in both Guineas over the years. I think 5 have won. It's not a great strike rate, that, when you consider all the brilliant horses that have run, that he's trained to run in the race. So, look, City of Troy was by miles the best 2-year-old last year. Is he going to be in the same form as he was for the Dewhurst this time? I don't think he will be, but that might not stop him winning. He might still be good enough.
And I'm going to throw your words. I think they were your words last year that you think the Guineas is the final 2-year-old race of the season rather than the first 3-year-old race of the season.
Well, it's not that. I just think that Aidan trains his horses to be at their best at the end of the season, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All his horses are trained like that, so they're not at their best. You know, Camelot won a Guineas, one of the worst Guineas ever by a short head, didn't he? From horses you will never remember. You know what I mean? And so these horses that come here, they're often not at their best when they win the Guineas, because they normally end up being further down the line. They're Derby horses, or this horse might be a Breeders' Cup horse, or whatever they want to run him in. So he's not going to be at his very best, I doubt, tomorrow. That might not stop him winning, because lots of them do win for Aidan. But if there's a superstar miler in there, 4 or 5 that have the potential to be superstars, then he might get beat.
Okay. Simon Clare joining us ahead of 2 red-hot days at Newmarket. Yeah, as we were saying, we've had Churchill, Glen Eagles, Camelot, George Washington, winners' favourites in the past 20 years. But we've had Augusta Rodan, Battleground, 10 Sovereign, St Nicholas Abbey, 1 Cool Cat. Oh, crikey. What? Well, I don't know what that noise was, but someone appears to have jumped into a bag of crisps. Was that you, Simon? I don't know. I don't know where that came from.
I was literally just moving my pages.
Oh,
yeah, you've
crikey.
done.
Are your pages made of tin foil? That was a loud. I don't know if it was loud for everyone at home, but whoa.
No, but it's going to be a fascinating day tomorrow. I mean, this whole City of Troy. I mean, Tom's absolutely right. Plenty of Aidan O'Brien favourites have been beaten. They're not fully wired up, but the sort of the hype surrounding City of Troy, even by Ballydoyle standards, it's significant, isn't it? With Michael Table comparing to Frankel, they have been talking about him being a potential Triple Crown horse. He's 5-1 now to win the Triple Crown. He was 12-1, weeks ago. He's 2-1 to do the Guineas Derby double. People are backing these. That people are believing the hype and putting money down on some of these specials because they think this is going to be the one. They've always craved winning the Triple Crown. They came close, obviously, with Camelot. And to do that, he's going to have to be fully tuned up and ready to deliver tomorrow. So it's fascinating. I know James Knight's keen to take him on. We pushed him out to 8-11. It'd be interesting to see what sort of price he could touch tomorrow. But the other thing, conversely, is when the Coolmore and the Ballydoyle team fancy their horses, they're not afraid to pile on at very short prices. So I think the market will be absolutely fascinating, particularly coming up close to race time.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, like you said, they're not afraid to lump on from 4 to 6 to 1 to 3 practically in some races like that. So, but like I said, there is a bit of a tendency for these Ballydoyle hot pots in the Guineas to either bolt up or bomb out, and they've either, like I said, in the past 20 years, they've either won or they've finished unplaced. So they're either ready or they're not. There's very rarely any middle ground. But have you got any price boosts, any specials, either to go with him or to take him on, Simon? What you got?
Yeah, we have. So we've got one for the show, which is City of Troy to win the 2,000 Guineas by over a length. That's 6-4. Was a 5-4 chance. I had a quick look back. 5 of the last 10 Guineas winners won by over a length, and they weren't superstars. We're being led to believe that City of Troy is a superstar. And that's for the rest of the show, £10 max bet. But if you fancy taking him on and you want the second and third favourite wrapped up in one price, Brazilian, a notable speech to win the 2,000 Guineas is 7-2 from 11-4. Brazilian's 5-1 at the moment. Notable speech 10-1. So that's a value way of wrapping the two most likely. Well, in terms of the market, most likely horses to upset City of Troy. So those are the ones to start the evening off.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, well, we'll get properly stuck into the 2,000 and also have a good look at the 1,000 Guineas as well as the evening progresses. But just a shout out to everyone. Kevin Collins is live, as he told us on the chat. And apart from those, Rob Panhard says the flat season so far has just been short price horses that should have trained on getting beat by big price outsiders. So let us know which big price outsiders you've backed against the favourite in the 2,000 Guineas. But we'll be getting stuck into Newmarket after this. day. 9 races at Newmarket tomorrow. Like I said, there's big fields pretty much up and down the board. So let's have a look at the first race of the day tomorrow at Newmarket, starting off with the listed fillies contest over 6 furlongs, where Star Guest has been backed into 7-4 favourite here. Unequal Love is 7-2, Funny Story 9-2, Azure Angel 6-1, Silent Words 15-2, Heritage House 9's, Glorious Angel 18's, Premier Beauty 33-1. At the outsider of the bunch, Dorothy Lawrence does not go here over at Newmarket, so we're down to the 8 runners. And again, we've got plenty of questions in terms of fitness about the majority of these runners. But Keels, there was 3 or 4 horses vying for favouritism earlier when I was looking at this race, but one has been absolutely smashed.
Yeah, smashed off the boards. Charlie Appleby, the ones at Newmarket, when the money's down, you sort of pay attention, don't you? Only problem is I find myself getting in trouble in these sort of races because you end up with horses that don't deserve to be the price they are being that sort of price. And, as progressive as Starguest was last season, she's on a hat-trick, obviously. She's only rated 93. She's, officially £9 below Funny Story, who's got a tiny penalty, but, she's got a fair bit to find, hasn't she, really, on the form. She obviously could improve. Any of these could improve. I sort of thought Funny Story was a reasonable price. She won twice last year, once on soft ground, once on fast ground, a listed race at Newmarket. So she's sort of done it all there, hasn't she? You know what I mean?
Beckett can't buy a winner to save his life, though.
Yeah,
at the moment,
true. But they haven't all been running dreadfully. Like, you know what I mean? It's a luck thing more than anything else. You know what I think?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of them have run well. Not, some of them have run terribly, obviously, but. Yeah, I can see that query, but I was going up and down. I found this harder, at least as hard as some of the handicaps with longer priced favourites.
Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean about Funny. You get the feeling if Beckett was in form, she'd be 5-2, not 9-2. But yeah, she's in there as well. William Haggis's Unequal Love is a little bit interesting as well.
But Dorothy Lawrence was the other one I was going to back, but that just came out as we were about to come on air.
Yeah,
because I thought she would appreciate ground faster than it was in France, but so she come out for some reason or other.
There's another Qipco Logistics horse in here, and that is Silent Words, Tom. And there's also, that leaves us with one of the 3-year-olds. I thought Heritage House was a little bit interesting here, ran really well here at the track last year and last time, and 100-1 and 150-1 last 2 runs, and ran really well, rated 96. I don't know, but it's...
Reading my trackers column, Ross. That's that. I put Heritage House up as a horse to follow in my trackers column not long ago. Oh. I think she's got a chance to hit. I think she's got a good chance. I think 6 furlongs is ideal for her. I think I really like the form at Doncaster last year when she was second to Chic Columbine in a valuable nursery. I think that's really good form. I think Chic Columbine's going to be a player in the French Guineas coming up. And she really quickened well into the lead that day and then got collared close home. She's just a good traveller. She's just a really good traveller. And I think the dropping back to 6 furlongs will suit her. I like the fact she's had a run. So she was the one for me. Yeah, Heritage House.
Yeah. I mean, and the form here last year as well, where she was a huge price. I mean, Romantic Stars won a Group 3, beating a well-fancied horse for the Guineas. A Day in Devon was in there as well. She's improved out of all recognition this year. So, yeah, I couldn't understand the price of her. And she's rated 96. Starguest is rated 93, and you've got 7-4 and 9-1, respectively. But obviously, there's improvement to come. And
also, I just think the drop back to 6 is perfect for her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I just think that she's been, running in. They'll go harder in this race, or they should go harder with Glorious Angel in there, and that'll suit her down to the ground. So yeah, I quite like her.
Yeah, me too. Have you put her up? Have you put her up, Tom? Is that why she's shortened a bit?
No, it's not one of my price-wise races. Only the TV races are the ones I do, so I won't be getting involved in this.
Lovely stuff.
Yet.
Okay, Simon Clare, what have you got for the opener?
Yeah, that's why we've still got a bit of value on this horse, isn't it? Because Tom hasn't put his paper. But I think, I just, I always find that you guys follow the form more close than me. You watch the videos and stuff. There's so many competitive races there. I always try to look for just almost sort of stats type angles, and for some reason, 3-year-olds got a really good record in this race. They've won 60% of the last 10 or 6 of the last 10 races from only 30% of the runners. Not many. They have a far smaller pool. And there were 2 3-year-olds in the race. I quite liked Dorothy Lawrence, funny enough, but I can only presume that they're looking for much better ground for her after she sort of got stuck in the mud last time in France. But Heritage House fits the bill, and it looked quite testing. I know they're calling it good ground, but it's like quite tough work, grindy sort of conditions at Newmarket. So I think this stiff six will suit Heritage House tomorrow. So it should be my selection. I should just say there's an in the know special worth calling out now because William Buick to ride 2 or more winners tomorrow. He's got a really strong book of rides, 7 rides in total. This one's obviously been very well backed, star guess. But then the rest of his other 6 are all 10 to 1 or shorter, including a couple of 9 to 2 chances, I Dubai and Bud Organ. And so he looks loaded. I think there's every chance he could have a pretty decent day. But 2 to 1 William Buick to ride 2 or more winners tomorrow. But personally, it's Heritage.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's remarkable. The past 2 years, William Buick at this track, 35% win strike rate, 49% of them have placed, 147 rides, 51 wins. I mean, it's absolutely insane. He's genuinely twice as good as every other jockey. So I think that's it. Even if you don't, I don't care whether you fancy any of his rides. I think that's just a good price given how well he rides the track. So. Okay, fair enough. And that's the opener at Newmarket. The 145 will be up next. Let's see if anyone fancies anything on the chat for this opening race. Not a great deal. There are plenty of opinions in the Guineas. We'll throw them into the mix very shortly indeed. That was the 110 at Newmarket. Moving on then, 6 furlong handicap here where Summergand has been well backed into 9 to 2. Favourite here ahead of Noble Style 6 to 1, Rohan 8 to 1, Apollo 1 8 to 1, Rabar 8 to 1, 9 to 1 chairman of the board and Aberama Gold, and 12 to 1 bar. There were 16 of them line up at Newmarket for this 145. It is expectedly a wide open race. Money coming for Summergand, who was a big eye catcher last time out, and that form has been given a right old boost. But of course, it brings me great joy for the first time this season to go across to Tom Segal for the patented rapid fire sprint handicap winner preview system. So, Tom, we're starting the clock now. Take it away.
No interest. It's a sprint handicap, but in my 5-second thing, obviously Summergand was interesting last time. Noble Star around winning the Guineas. Don't really fancy him. Rohan's gone. Apollo 1 I thought could run well, but I like horses that have had a run in this race. So I came down on chairman of the board, who's run well twice in this race before and was a bit unlucky not to win at, where was he last time? Newbury last time.
Okay, thank you very much. Beaten by a horse who has gone in your tracker as well, in the shape of Wiltshire.
Yeah, you do read it. That's it.
You definitely did some homework there.
Yeah, there you go. He did. Yeah. He pretends.
I did look at it because I couldn't find anything else anywhere else, so I thought I better look at the sprint handicap.
Yeah, fair enough. And no, I do, and I print out your 2 for the tracker columns, Tom. And of course, I get a good night's.
Take it on your stag do, Ross, when we weren't invited. Is that where you take it?
No, I was going to say I get a good night's sleep after getting to the bottom of the email. So there you go. Right, more your kind of game.
Yeah, well, it's funny. When I start looking at these races on a Monday night when I'm doing the weekender, and I've always got the old weather apps up and looking around, and there was like 45 mil of rain forecast on 2 different websites that I looked at. And I thought to myself, I don't know what to do here. So I ended up backing Aberama Gold, just in case, and tipping it. But I got up Tuesday morning and it had all disappeared.
Yeah, it's been quite a nice week actually, hasn't it?
It's been quite a nice week, no rain at all. And it was, it wasn't slow ground today. They did get steady rain today. I don't think they got a lot.
I mean, to be fair, it was good ground last time.
Yeah, it was good ground last time. It was easily his best race on good ground, but it brings an awful lot more into play, doesn't it? I mean, he was a bigger price. I wouldn't back him now, and I've jumped back onto Summergand because he was just a massive eye catch. I mean, the thing about Summergand, he was capable of, even though he's 10, he was capable of much higher marks than this last season. Yeah. But he actually dropped £9 for running on the all-weather over the winter. Now I know he does have all-weather form as well. But it's a case of when he comes back to form, and that was such an eye-catching run last time. Because there was a fair tailwind, he had to wait for a run, he came flying through, he absolutely trounced everything else that was held up.
He went past literally every horse apart from the first 4.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, and he was miles ahead of all the other hold-up horses. And, it just depends, will he get a run? Will the front runners come back to him? And the good news for him is that if the weather forecast is right, then the wind is going to have turned round tomorrow and will be in their faces. Now, it's not going to be strong, but it'll certainly level the playing field a little bit. And, I just think, even at the age of 10, I mean, David O'Meara is so good. at keeping these older horses enthusiastic and at the top of their form, or bringing them to the boil again and again and again. And it just looked like he was at it and he's ready to strike. And you got some firms, well, betting 5 and 6 places. I mean, I just thought, I get told off by a mate of mine for saying an each way bet for nothing because he reckons there's no such thing, but I do.
No, I do as well, especially with a couple of extra places as well.
And yeah,
Form's
with the
been given a boost today as well.
Yeah, Form's been given a boost today. But Dark 30, you finished ahead of him. I mean, he fell out the stalls today and it wasn't run to suit him at all, and he still came flying through and ran really well, didn't he?
And the second were a good one as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a really solid piece of form, and even as a 10-year-old off a mark of 95, he's probably ahead of the handicap.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked out as well a couple of times today, but following the form line you like, but also I think you've got to maybe back a couple out of it at bigger prices, and there are a couple. One of them is Wallop, I thought was a little bit interesting. He was third on fast ground on the July course to Noble Style and Millstream as a 2-year-old. He's now receiving lumps of weight from Noble Style, and he's had that run. Ross Brierley's back on board, takes over from a claimer. And the other one was Chipstead as well, who I thought ran a really nice race in the same contest. First run back on turf for a while, he just got. He wasn't as eye-catching as some again, but he still came home really nicely. I thought.
Yeah, he did. I think I backed Chipstead then as well. I think I backed him and some again.
Yeah, so I would give those two a little bit of a squeak. But extra places, please, Simon.
Yeah, we've got 5 places. On what it looks a really competitive. A couple of our ambassadors have got decent rides. David Probert's a new Corridor ambassador. Outstanding form, another double today. There's an absolute bias. He's carrying those coral logos on his brief, but he's riding Sterling Knight, who's won on a couple of times before, ran really well on seasonal debut, coming third, and has won off this mark, off a mark of 9. This has been a winnable mark, and he's quite positive about his chance. And Qipco riding a very unexposed horse, Charlie Hill's Rabar, who's got form against Apollo 1 and the favourite. He's been gelded since he was last seen in the big York Handicap when he was 5th at 21. He's looking forward to riding this horse. He thinks he can run a big race off this market. So on the basis that it's extremely hard to single out a good bet, I'm going to side with 2 Coral ambassadors, David Probert and Jim Crowley, back to Sterling Knight and Rabar.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Rabar is interesting, actually. He was 5th in that race behind Quinault last year, which Washington Heights was 2nd, what a group race. Millstream was 3rd as a group horse. The winner's obviously gone on to incredible things as well. He was slowly away, fell out of the stall. So, actually, yeah, he wasn't. I'm glad you said that, actually, because it's made me look again at him and go, he's out of that race. So, there we go. All right, that's the 145 at Newmarket. If you are watching, by the way, then do make sure you like the stream. Of course, give the YouTube stream a bit of a thumbs up. We've got a long old flat season ahead of us, and we need all the support we can get from you, the viewer. Without you, like I said, it's pointless us being here. Darren Walker likes Rabar as well, as does Kay Mansfield. Chipstead each way for Lee Richardson. And Rohan either wins or finishes last, he says. So that's the 145. The Suffolk Stakes at Newmarket up next, the 220. Again, another 16-runner handicap, and again, absolutely wide open stuff. The races tomorrow do have a feel of, even if you don't back the winner, you probably back 5 or 6 horses out of it and get some decent returns over the next few months. But Torito for the Gosden team with Kieran Schumacher in the saddle was really progressive last year and is heading the betting here at 4-1. Dutch Decoy 15-2, Westerton 8-1, Theory of Everything 8-1, Liberty Lane 8-1, Majestic 9-1, Bo Pedro 12s, Lion of War, kind of forgotten about him as he comes back to the UK after that big run at Ascot last year, and then bigger prices the rest. But yeah, again, come to you first, Tom Segal. I reckon there's possibly 2 or 3 quote-unquote future group horses in a handicap, as it were. I really like the favourite. What made it interesting is that the Gosden runners have probably been needing their first run. Would that be fair? Does that make this race a bit more of a betting heat?
Yeah, I mean, they have. I mean, I'm always a bit loath to say that, because you just don't know when they're not going to need their first run, do they? Do you? It might be tomorrow that he has 5 winners. They seem to be going a little bit better now than they were. The thing about him, though, is he's been off since, when was it, Royal Ascot? So he's obviously had issues. He's been gelded since, and he's 4-1. Now, could be a class above, because he looked really good at Epsom, and he was probably unlucky not if not to win, but not to be second to Qipco at Royal Ascot. So he could have a massive class edge. But I don't want to back him at 4-1 on his first run for ages. I was looking elsewhere. Plenty you could make a case for. Westerton I thought was quite interesting, and see he's been backed. Slightly worried about coming back to 9 furlongs. Alan King was running over a mile and a half last year, but I think probably didn't stay that. But 10 was his ideal, and this is a quick track. I get what Keels was saying about the wind change. I don't think it's going to be a strong wind tomorrow, and they haven't had that much rain. I just looked; it was 4.8 millimeters. That's what Sandown was saying, or more than that every day. For the jump meeting the other day. So it hasn't been bucketing down. I still think it will be pretty quick condition, not quick, but decent conditions there. Theory of Everything, wasn't totally convinced he was unlucky last time in that race. I thought, Liberty Lane was horrible in the Lincoln, so he was off the list. Lana Ward didn't like the track. I didn't think when he was racing here last year, twice he ran at Newmarket and twice he ran really badly. Thought I like horses for courses, so Dutch Decoy and Beau Pedro and Majestic were my 3. Sounds boring, but I thought Dutch Decoy might be the one. I thought he should have won last time. I thought he was desperately unlucky not to win that race that Hafid Alain won. He was 7th from stall 2 or something in the Cambridgeshire last year. He won on his side by miles. I know Oviedo came over to this side, and he's probably a group horse, Oviedo. So just thought Dutch Decoy was very solid. You could make a case for Majestic, who was behind him, who was in front of him that day, and Beau Pedro, who was in front of him. But I just thought those 3 were the solid ones. Ended up on Dutch Decoy just because he finished in front of them the last time they raced.
Okay, yeah, Dutch Decoy. He got stopped in his run about 3 times, didn't he, at a crucial point, and got beaten by an eyelash basically in the race last time out. I would give Liberty Lane a little bit more of a chance. I know what you mean. I fancied him for the Lincoln. He was well backed. I watched the replay back. He was just stuck on his own all the way down this near side, and he never got any cover. He didn't have any company at all. I just thought, I watched it back and I thought, oh, you've never been in this race.
Yeah.
So
I get that. It's just I had a few quid on him for the Lincoln, and I thought he was the first beat. Now they're more probably. I'm just rubbish at forgiving horses. That's my failing as a hunter. But I thought he showed absolutely nothing. But it might have been mitigating circumstances, as you point out. So, yeah, he's in there. But I like course form. I like the Dutch Decoy form a lot. I know Liberty Lane's run well here, hasn't he, in the past? I think.
Yeah, he's got a couple of. He was second to Qipco in a novice, wasn't he? So, Paul Kealy, what was on your list?
Yeah, well, Tom's rubbish at forgiving horses. I'm way too good at that.
You're forgiven for months.
But by the same token, I mean, it shows what processes you go through, wouldn't it? Because those same 3 that he mentioned would have been my 3 on the short list, and I came down on Beau Pedro. Form figures on the 2 Newmarket tracks: 3-1-1, 3-8. The last third was in the Cambridgeshire when he was only beaten a length. He's a couple of pounds lower. The bad run was last time against Hafid Alain, but I am gonna forgive him that because. They split into 2 groups, and his was a smaller group, and he essentially just got held up in a 5-runner race. Off what was a steady enough gallop, and when they had a tailwind. So I forgive him that. He's only beaten 2 1/4 lengths overall anyway. And my hope is that he'll get more cover. But he's drawn on the wing again, with the stalls down the centre, so a little bit of a worry. Hopefully you get in behind and they'll go hard enough, and he'll work his way through. But I still think he's got some mileage in himself off a mark of 100. So certainly see the case for Dutch Decoy and Majestic as well. Killybegs Warrior obviously won a good 3-year-old race on the other track last year. He's got a chance for Charlie Johnson with James Doyle. I wouldn't rule him out after his returning second. But my number 1 was, again, a veteran, Beau Pedro.
Okay, going with the Newmarket horses then. I was gonna have a couple of quid as well on King's Code, the complete outside of the lot. I know he's improved on the all weather, but he won 3 times on the turf. And watch that Newcastle run last time out. I thought he was going to finish dead last, and he rattled home. We passed every runner. So it's wide open here, Simon. Again, like it is. I just say to Keels before the show. I mean, you've got the feeling, especially if City of Troy does underperform, that your place pot, for example, tomorrow might end up paying about 5 figures because there are huge fields, and you could give the majority of the field a chance.
Oh, absolutely! It's hugely competitive. It's amazing stuff really tomorrow. Another wonderful race. I mean, we've got a couple of we've got an Indonesia special. Charlie Johnson horse to win. 7-2. You've seen Paul make Warrior. Has also got Lion of War and of course Dutch Decoy, who I think generally we all think will run well. So that's 7-2 from 3-1. The price it works at 3-1, so you can wrap them all up together. Playing 5 places. Not particularly original. You've already mentioned it, Majestic. I mean, he's run really well at Newmarket 3 times. The only time it didn't run well was when it was soft ground. Great reappearance. Jack Shannon is incredible form. He's had 8 winners from 24 runners, including a double today with the jockey Dave Probert on board, who rides Majestic. A few quid on him. There's been plenty of money for Westerton, 12s into 8, and obviously Dutch Decoy shortening up. Probably we can blame Tom for that. And Liberty Lane just shortened in. I just thought it was interesting. Carl Burke, another trainer who's in really good form. 12 winners from 46 runners, Carl. Another good winner today. So, you like to follow trainers whose horses seem to be running really well. And that would be in his. Yeah, definitely Majestic for me.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if the producer told you to take the your headphones out because of the rattling papers, but now because you haven't got them in, it means it's peaking. We can't hear some of your audio, Simon, just towards the end there. So we might have to pop them back in again, and we'll get those papers laminated potentially so they don't rattle. But I don't know. Let's see the fun and games of live broadcasting, isn't it? By the way, as well, I'm not suggesting this is normally a way to go, Keels, but Sheikh Abeid as well. 3 runners at Newmarket today, all won. I'm not saying you're putting like owner accumulators necessarily, but he's having winner after winner after winner this year, obviously because he's with Inform Yards as well.
Yeah, he's with Inform Yards, isn't it? Owners in form. Not sure I've got that down as my list of things to look out for.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I wonder if I was an owner, whether I'd say I love a winner at Newmarket. Let's say them all there, for example. But
I mean, there are owners. I remember Marwan Qipco loved winners at Chester, didn't he? But he just ran everything there, so it's completely pointless following them.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is a fair point. We'll see if Gabriel turns up or something later on. What else? We've got Theory of Everything each way for Tom Leach, and he does make a good advice as well for you if you want to forgive horses. Just back the same horse every time, and eventually you'll find a winner. So great advice. The next race at Newmarket then is the Palace House Stakes, 5 furlongs the distance for this Group 3 sprint. Dead 8 runners here, but again, another one where you could genuinely make a case for the majority of the field. But it was Mitbahi, who was pretty eye-catching last time out, who has been well supported, or was well supported. It's just easing out a little bit. 3-1 favourite here. Ahead of Beautiful Diamond at 7-2. Twilight Calls 4-1. Kurdos 11-2. Vadream 15-2. Significantly 12-1. 7 Questions 16s, and T Spirit is 16-1. Equality does not go. One of the only Charlie Hills horses to have won first time out this year, and obviously he's got Mitbahi in here as well. Now the question is, Tom, do you have the same approach to group class sprints as you do to sprint handicaps, or have you got stuck into this one?
Well, I definitely haven't got stuck into no, anything over 5 or 6 furlongs is low quality stuff for me. Don't like that sort of stuff at all. But we all have our favourites, so not a race I really looked at. I thought Mitbahi was very obvious. Camera's gone all funny again, isn't it?
He's back.
He's back. Was very obvious after his good run last time. Beautiful Diamond, the 3-year-old. He's a little bit. I don't know. I didn't know about her. Twilight Calls has got the form, but it's not a race I listed in group sprints are not for me. Ross, I thought Mitbahi might win, so I'm going to give this one over to you. My sprint handicap and sprinting pal, Mr. Keels.
Okay, let's go over to Paul Kealy then here.
Yeah, it's mad because I love staying handicap chases. When it comes to the flat, my favourite races are sprints. Just love watching them.
Yeah. Well, I quite like the shorter, partly because they're a lot easier to get stuck into because you can watch 20 replays in the time it takes to watch one.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. I mean, loads of people say, there'd be a different result every time they run, but I think there's more to it than that.
Is that not similar with staying handicap chases though, as well?
It's the same as everything, as everything really, isn't it? Like, in big field handicaps, you get different results at different times. But I mean, I like this race. I just thought Twilight Calls should be standout favourite himself. I mean, I think, he won first time out in 2021 and 2022. He went off favourite in a much better race for this last year, but it was bottomless ground for him. He just really doesn't like it. Ridden by Ryan Moore then, the only 2 times Ryan Moore's ridden him other than that was in the King's Stand. which is now the King Charles III Stakes this year.
Oh, thank you. I'll definitely forget that.
He finished second and fourth, and he was an unlucky fourth last year. I'm not saying he'd have won, but it'd have been a bit closer. Beat Mit Bahi, I'll say that a couple of times, quite comfortably that day. I don't think Mit Bahi wants a sharpish 5 furlongs myself, and we've got to remember he might have been an eye-catcher, finishing strongly over 6 last time. It was a completely different kettle of fish, dropping down to 5. I thought Beautiful Diamond had a lot to prove at the weights myself.
Yeah, she was the odd one for me.
Little bit surprised that she was as short as she was, because she was clear favourite yesterday. I thought the danger might be Kurdos, who didn't run that well at Bath last time, but on bottomless ground, and I don't think he really wanted it. I don't think anything wants it that deep, to be honest, as it was at Bath. But I could pick holes in. I didn't think Beautiful Diamond had the form. I thought Mit Bahi wanted a bit further, and I just think, on his best form, he's the best horse in the race, Twilight Course.
Yeah, you're right.
We discussed it earlier. You can see that you're going to mention T Spirit, the only front runner in the race. Hopefully, he won't sit too far off it.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stood out to me. Is I thought, I went through this. I thought, okay, I know who the fastest horse in the first furlong or two is, and that's T Spirit. Can anything keep up with him? And I saw hold up horse, hold up horse, hold up horse, hold up horse. Apart from 7 questions, but he's been a kind of a speedy horse on the speed over 6 rather than 5. So. Yeah, I thought, T Spirit 16-1, I thought, bang, you're going to get a run for your money. He's going to be in front for 4.5 furlongs at the very least, and last time out, he kept going and going and going at this track as well. And I think Mia Nichols will just point and shoot this horse, and it's worked plenty of times at Newmarket before, so hopefully it works again. T Spirit 16-1. Simon Clare, what's on your agenda here for the Palace House Stakes?
Well, I thought we'd take 3-year-old on. Not many ever run in this race, but Sergei Prokofiev was the 6-4 favourite and finished 4th in 2019. Havana Grey for the Calbert team was 6-4 favourite, finished 5th in 2018. A couple got beat in 2014. So it just looks a tough ask for Beautiful Diamond. Twilight Call's been beaten favourite a couple of times in this. I can see that there were mitigating circumstances. He may well be the best horse. He might run well. I just thought the Dream, I know it's not going to be quite as soft as it was last year, but he won the race last year. He runs the track well. I thought it still looked, because of the nature of the track, I thought it looked stiff enough today as when you're watching the races. I think he'll go well. He might not win, but I think he'll be in the 3. And as I say, you can sort of pick holes in a few of the others. He might pop up again. Okay,
there we go. Plenty of opinions then in the Palace House Stakes. What have we got? Cliff says that Twilight Calls is a bit of a flat lummox, Tom. Is that a thing? Can we have a lummox list on the flat?
Oh, that's harsh. I don't call him a lummox.
Okay,
not yet. Anyway, if he gets beat here, he might be a lummox, or Keels will be calling him a lummox. That's for sure.
Calling him all sorts, mate. I promise you.
Yeah. If he keeps getting beat, he's in the Mondamage pile, isn't he? That's for sure. There you go. First mention of him for the flat season. That's the Palace House Stakes then. Right, let's crack on and move on to the big one, shall we? The 2,000 guineas again. All the talk has been about City of Troy, who is 8-11, 3 from 3, and wildly impressive, obviously winning by a combined 10 lengths on his last 2 group starts at Newmarket on the July course and the Rowley Mile. He's 8-11 to come back and put his rivals to the sword once again. Rosalian, though, was also very impressive in his win at Longchamp last year, and his 5-1. Notable speech is 3 from 3, and the way he weaved through runners on the all-weather last time out was impressive. Been a lot of talk about Ghostwriter as well. Night Raider is a real fly in the ointment with his 2 eye-popping wins at Southwell. Al Yanabi's got form tied in as well with the best of these. Task Force, Iberian. You've got Inner Sharon in there as well. Hartem and 10 Bob Toner. Even the complete outsider of the lot is rated 109 and only has to improve another half a stone to get involved here. But again, Keels, lots of talk about this race, but most of it about the favourite, and most of it about, is he going to be as good as last year, and does his pedigree say that he's going to train on? Because I think there's more negatives than positives in that regard.
There are more negatives. It's early days, isn't it? But there is the fact that's been pointed out recently that Justify has a far worse strike rate with 3-year-olds than he did with 2-year-olds. Now, he's only had a handful of 4-year-old runners. He's only got 3 crops.
Yeah.
So he hasn't had many go at 3, but the strike rate is quite an alarming drop-off, isn't it? So that has to be a consideration. None of his 4-year-olds have yet won either. From the database
I think he's only had six 4-year-olds.
Yeah, I think it was 11 actually. Or it might have been 11 runs. It could be. But yeah, so there is a question mark. I mean, he looked really, really strong at the end of the Dewhurst. He should stay. His sire won a Triple Crown. There's no reason why he shouldn't train on. But if they don't, they don't. But by all accounts, they're really confident that he has. He's been showing them all the right signs. But until you see him on the track, you don't know, do you? And there are tons of horses that are unexposed. Now, I left the race alone because I think he'd probably win. I was very impressed with him. You keep watching that Dewhurst, and you become. The last 100 yards becomes more impressive every time you watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just think, yeah, he could be a superstar. I'd love to see him be a superstar. But I do also like Rosallion. And I'll let Tom make the case for him because I know I know he's going to. But obviously he's considered easily better than Hartem. He's won a Craven. So Richard Hannah's probably bouncing after that. Notable Speech has put up some pretty blistering splits when he won at Kempton last time, didn't he? But got to do it on turf. And like you said, Ghostwriter, Night Raider, also other unbeaten ones. The other one I thought would go well at a big price was Task Force. And I just thought, as sometimes is the case with Frankel, they're going to be a bit keen as 2-year-olds, like he was. And
I mean, that's the most Guineas pedigree in here, isn't
it?
it?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, dual Guineas win a special duty. Probably the only Guineas winner ever to lose both races and get them in the stewards group. But yeah, by Frankel out of special duty, and it was a big step up from that little listed race at Ripon to be running in the Middle Park. And Van Dijk's a good horse, second to that one, but he raced. He just did everything wrong, didn't he? He was incredibly keen, but then looked at the end like 6 furlong was way too short for him. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to come this year if he's grown up. And he could be your each way play against the top two. But I think City of Troy will probably win.
Okay, City of Troy is 8 to 11 here though, but yeah, I mean we've got all the right races represented, haven't we? Tom, obviously we've got the Jean-Luc Lagardère, we've got your Royal Lodgers, we've got your Cravens, we've got your Champagne Stakes. We've obviously got a very, very exciting favourite, but there's not many missing here to line up and take a crack at him.
What a race. What a race, Ross. Now, this is a proper race. This race, the 2000 Guineas, is all my favourite flat race of the season, or every year. I absolutely love it. I think it's the start of when you can get excited about the season. It's a bit like, I'm going to sound like a right old brown nose here, but the Coral Gold Trophy, the Newbury race, the Handicap, the Old Hennessy, they're my 2 favourite races of the season. You sort of bring the strands of the novices and the 2-year-old form, and it all comes together in those 2 races. I absolutely love them. I think this is an absolute brilliant race. I cannot wait to see it. I think, as you point out, there's not a horse in there that you wouldn't want to be in there apart from some of Aidan O'Brien's other ones. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what City of Troy can do, because on last year's form he will win. There's no doubt about it. He was an absolute brilliant 2-year-old. Just whether he's at the same level for his comeback run to tomorrow. If he is, I think he'll win. No problem whatsoever. But just in the back of my mind, I just think that he's going to be better as the season progresses. And if there's a superstar miler in here, and there could be about 5 of them, he could get beat. He could get beat because I think he'll be better over further.
Yeah. So is that, and that has been the case with a lot of the best of O'Brien's 3-year-olds. They're not milers, are they? They are 10, 12 furlong horses.
No, he tends to. Yeah, that's right. He tends to run. Look, the boys are desperate for Triple Crown horses, aren't they? That's what they breed horses for. That's what they want. So they run their Derby horses in this race all the time, don't they? Now, some of them are good enough to win. Your Camelots and your pals. That's modern day. I mean, the old days, obviously, George Washington was a superstar miler and he won it. But I think he's going to be better over further. I have no worry. I mean, of course, he's going to train on. I mean, I have no worries about any of that stuff. I mean, if Justify can't get horses to train on, I mean, he's got horse running in the, Bertinelli trained on, didn't he? Won the London Gold Cup and should have won at Royal Ascot. He had a horse favourite running in the Kentucky Derby tomorrow night. So I'm not worried about that at all. Just whether he'll be right for tomorrow. he's going to be somewhere near right, isn't he? Of course he is, because it's a very important race. But if there's a superstar in there, and I personally think Rosalien could be one, then he could get beaten tomorrow. And that's the only thing I'm hanging my hopes on. Earlier in the week when Rosalien was 3-1, I probably wouldn't have gone for him. I wouldn't have backed him. But he was 6 and 13-2 not that long ago. And I just thought that was a big price for a horse that you cut out the one Doncaster run. He looked brilliant at Ascot when he beat loads of good horses, and Al Yonabi beat him at least as further than City of Troy beat him. And then he went to France. He was drawn on the outside, very fast ground, really hard to win races around there on fast ground from a bad draw. He did it, no problem. The winner went on to win the Breeders' Cup Turf. I just think he's potentially a really good top-class miler. And the point about him is that Richard Hannon's a brilliant record in this race. The Hannons always have done. They have loads of Guineas winners and loads of horses that run well in Guineas. So I just think he's going to be absolutely bang on for the race. And he's drawn not far from, I think Ryan Moore will go forward. So I think he'll be able to sit on his Sean Levy will sit right on his coattails. And if he's good enough, he can outspeed him. You know, there's no problems if City of Troy grinds it out and goes 3 or 4 lengths after making the running and looks a brilliant horse. I'm sort of half expecting it, but I do think Rosalien is a big price at what was 5 or 6 to 1, 5 to 1 now. I think that's plenty big enough. The others, you've got a little bit of guesswork needed on the all-weather horses. I mean, the figures boys and the sectional guys like Notable Speech and Night Raider and all those sort of ones, you know, and even Kevin Ryan's horse, Inisherin, who is bred to be a really good horse. Shamadal out of Ajman Express. So I can see that all 3 of them, no problems if all of them turn out to be top class milers. They could be. They've just got a bit to prove. And I thought Rosalien doesn't have anything like that much to prove. And I thought he was the value despite being shorter than those ones. So I liked him. Well, those are bigger prices. I would mention Inisherin. And I thought Iberian could run well as well. I thought he was really impressive in the Doncaster race last year. He beat Rosalien, he beat Sunway, he beat Mountain Bear. All 3 of them went on to run, well, 2 of them won Group 1s, and Mountain Bear was second in a Group 1. And you can forget, he just didn't run his race in the Dewhurst last time. So I could see him running well too at a big price if he stays the trip. But for me, I cannot wait to see it. Like Keel said, and half of me's hoping and expecting City of Troy to be a superstar and win by 3 or 4. The other half is expecting me to either scramble home or get beaten by a top-class miler, and I'm hoping that is Rosalien.
Okay, Rosalien then could be the top-class miler in the race, as Tom Segal. I mean, again, we could just talk. I mean, there's so many races and so many horses on tomorrow, but we could talk about this race all night. I mean, there's other ones we haven't mentioned. I mean, Hartem, I think, is going to run a blinder as well. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as these, but how many times over the years have we seen fit horses who handle the track come here and run blinders at big prices? I mean, obviously Phoenix of Spain sprang a surprise in the Irish Guineas, was it, if I remember off the top of my head as well. And then right out the outside of the whole lot, Tom, and I had no interest whatsoever in this until I started looking at the pedigree. He's by Night of Thunder. The dam is half-sister to a French Guineas winner. Beat Boiling Point, who quickened away really impressively today. 10 Bob Tony, I thought was a little bit interesting. He's a massive horse as well. He's never been a 2-year-old in a million years, so he'll clearly improve for that. Yeah, I don't know. I was going down this race thinking, like you said, this is a good race. This is a great race. This is an incredible race. So if City of Troy does go and beat all this lot, they could finish in market order or run up to their form, and this could be one of the best Guineas we've seen in years. I don't know. Hopefully it will be.
I think so, and I hope so. I think it could be. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, I think, as you say, who's not here? Who's not here? I mean, all the horses that we were expecting to be are here, bar a couple of Aidan O'Brien's other ones. So really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great race. As I say, personally, I think from what they showed as 2-year-olds, the top 2 are a little bit ahead of the rest. But, you know, you can make cases. It's a different year, different amount of preparation. So, as I say, make case for loads. Yeah. Personally, I would be surprised if Tony or Hartem were quite good enough, but you never know.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying there would be, but again, Simon, Guineas over the years, you've seen 66 to 1, 100 to 1 shots. I can't remember the David Ellsworth horse that placed at huge odds about 10 or 15 years ago. But do you have a financial interest? Do you have a strong opinion? And do you have anything offers-wise to throw into the mix for the 2,000 guineas?
Yeah, listen, I'll just share the guys' opinion. I think it's a fantastic 2,000 guineas. I think it always is a great race, like Tom says. But tomorrow I think it's pretty special. I mean, City of Troy is going to be the shortest price favourite for some time. Madly, Air Force Blue, about 2016, went off 4-5, unplaced, never turned out to be any good. And Frankel is the horse they're sort of comparing to, but when you look back through what Frankel beat that day, and he was incredible in the 2,000 guineas, he went on to achieve way more, obviously, in his career. But actually, the form of all the horses in behind was pretty average, was poor, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't a great field. You'd be almost disappointed when you look at some of the horses taking on City of Troy if this turned out to be a bad field, which almost shows you the task that City of Troy's got to be good enough on the first, on seasonal debut with the long season ahead to actually turn these over. And good horses have been beaten. August Rodin was unplaced last year. Native Trail was 5-4 the year before, got beat. Peter Tubu 5-6 finished third. 10 Sovereigns 9-4-5. Sort of came in, been short enough price favourites and got beat in this race. Churchill was the last winning favourite in 2017 when he won at 6-4. So we know it's not easy. It's not one of these odds-on favourites just turns up and wins. If he can win and obviously win well, then he's a very, very good horse and the horse that he's sort of been hyped up to be. But we know it's not easy, and I hope he wins because I'll be excited to have a horse, who then is on that Triple Crown trail, and it's commendable that the Ballydoyle and the Coolmore team do see that as something worth winning, because for years it was always assumed that why would anyone want to win the Triple Crown and win the St Ledger, having won the Guineas and the Derby? It was considered that sort of a negative breeding trend, but they seem to some reason, I think just because it's hard to do, they want to do it again and emulate Nijinsky. So it'd be great to see that start off. We've got a special. We have the special, which is obviously being trailed through the show to win by over a length, 6-4 from 5-4. But if you think he's going to win well and be devastating like Frankel was and win by over 3 lengths, you can back City of Troy at 100-30, which again, I think there'll be plenty of people out there looking at maybe the lengths markets, which various books I'm sure will be offering in the anticipation that he not only wins but does it in some style. So a brilliant race. Alionabi, I'll finish off with, we've talked long and hard about this race, but this is what Jim Crowley had to say. He said, I think it's one of the best 2,000 guineas fields I've seen for many years. He sums up that he thinks the opposition to City of Troy is very good. He says, in terms of my horse, I couldn't be happy with him. He's going to appreciate going up to a mile. I think he's going to be his best on a fast surface. When he finished second to City of Troy and the Dewhurst was on soft ground, I hope he can be the Trojan horse this time and bring down City of Troy. So Jim Crowley, even getting poetic in his blog, he's a 16-1 chance. Alionabi, probably an each way chance at best.
Okay.
Come on, Si, you wrote that. There's no way.
I did write. Joking about it, Lewis Knowles actually interviewed Jim Crowley, and David Stevens did say, I saw the email exchange saying, "Come on, Lewis, did you give him that line?" And apparently Lewis said no. He came up with it himself. So he's clearly been. Somebody may have given it to him probably during the week, or maybe Jim Crowley just is that well read.
Yeah, you never know. I assume if that's his strategy, you'll be hiding on the inside of the favourite, and then burst out late to surprise him. But last shout out to Alionabi, and John Thompson from the Fast Show says Alionabi by too darn hot is bound to be a much better at 3. Loves Newmarket, hard to see out of the first 3. So a cracking renewal. I'm not allowed to say renewal. Robbie Wilder's chastised the word renewal earlier on. A cracking race. 2,000 guineas this year. Right, we've got to rattle through 400 other races as well, so let's go through this one very quickly indeed. A 1.5 mile handicap here for this 410 at Newmarket. Real Dream, 11-4 favourite. Relentless Voyager, 9-2 with Knightswood, 11-2 bar those. Plenty of question marks over trip and ground and fitness in here, Keels. Did you have an angle?
I just thought Knightswood ran really well last time at Ripon and was progressive enough for the Johnstons. That half-length second to Sea King at Ripon, thought that was a decent bit of form. Johnstons have loads of winners over this sort of trip at Newmarket, don't they?
Yeah.
So I always tend to look at them.
So that was
the one that interested me most. I could certainly see a case for Relentless Voyager, but a bit like the Gosden thing to Rito earlier on, he's got a break to come off, having disappointed at Royal Ascot. But he's a horse to keep an eye out on if he's okay.
Yeah. And Andrew Balding is in very, very good form. Tom Segal, an angle?
Not really. I've been following Youthful King a bit on the all-weather and being really frustrated by bad draws and slow starts. And I know he's well handicapped. I'm just not quite sure whether he's as good on turf as he is on all-weather, and whether a mile and a half will be his real thing. But I think he's definitely got races in and off his current mark. So he would be one I'd be keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, I fancied him. I looked at him. He's only ever good to firm record is fantastic, and he's good at Sandown as well. So I think Coral Eclipse Day might be his target again. Okay, 4:10. Simon, quickly, anything?
Well, I like the fact you're getting the Coral plugs in now. Saves me having to do it. That's great. 4 favourites in the last 6 years have won this race. Sir Michael Stout, Ryan Moore teaming up very well back. Real Dream 5-2 now. I think it was 11-4 with Coral. It was 7-2 earlier, so clearly that's a big plus. But Relentless Voyage, you've already mentioned Andrew Balding in great form. He's had 10 winners from 37 runners the last 2 weeks. Had 3 seconds today. So at 92, I thought Relentless Voyager might be a little bit of maybe the value play.
Okay, Relentless Voyager it is then. 4:45 at Newmarket then. Rattling on, 6 furlongs the distance here for this 3-year-old handicap. Chagran is 7-2. Eye of Dubai 9-2. Dapper Valley 9-2. Trefor is 6-1. Completely random. 15-2. Moswart 17-2. A 6 furlong sprint handicap for the 3-year-olds of the classic generation, Tom. Surely this has tickled your pickle.
Shaquille, Creative Force, Twilight Sun, they've all won this race.
Yeah, Commonwealth Cup trial, baby.
No, don't mention it. So it's a really good race for the future. I thought Dapper Valley ran a big eye-catching race last time, so he was top of my list.
Okay, yeah, I think that race is really good as well. Yeah, so he was in there. Trefor was in there as well. But lots of unexposed types. Keels.
Always disappoints me when I look at handicap for a little while and come down on the first 2 in the betting.
Yeah,
You know, and that's what I did in the end. I mean, Chagran was really eye-catching at Sandown last time, wasn't it? But I mean, I've sort of been keeping an eye on Dapper Valley since he made what looked a really impressive debut last year as a 2-year-old, and you know, he disappointed a couple of times after that, but bounced back. With a really good third on his last run last season, was a really good third in a good race on his first run this season. So, yeah, I think he might have a bit more to come. So he's my pick too.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be any slight on Pat Dobbs to say that Ryan Moore in the saddle is a bit of an upgrade.
I don't know. I mean, one
That's
more
a
than
massive
upgrade.
slight. What are you talking about?
What you
get a bigger slight.
What? Then saying
no
the best
fan.
flat jockey is a bit of an upgrade. I don't think. I'm not saying Pat Dobbs is
He's
bad.
an
I'm saying
upgrade on
Ryan Moore's
everyone, but
absolutely
no, Pat
mustard.
Dobbs is a good jockey. Pat Dobbs
I
is
was
fine.
not. I was listen.
Dobbs is excellent.
I never. Honestly, what is it? I feel. All right, fine. I'm not. We're going to turn you down in a second, Tom. I was not saying Pat Dobbs. I'm not having you dropping me in it.
Okay, sorry.
I was saying Ryan Moore is very, very good.
Okay.
And Pat Dobbs is very, very good. Two less one. Never mind. Keels. Never mind. I was just trying to say that's a positive for the horse. Anyway, Simon Clare. Tom Segal's got me all riled up.
Oh. Listen, again, really nice competitive race. I had to buy the one for me. John and Sean Quinn. It was, obviously lost the race last time, but very unexposed. Plenty of money coming from him, I see this evening. So I just thought he was the one at 92 in what is, again, another wonderfully competitive race. Loads of money for Moswat. That's probably been the best bet this evening. From double figure odds to 17-2. Roger Varian yard again. Another yard in very, very good form. A 25% strike rate in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you very much. 2 more races to go at Newmarket. 9 races to the 5:15, 7 furlongs for this 3-year-old handicap. 20 runners, horses which have won no more than 1 race. And what a field we've got lined up here, and I reckon 10 of these will probably go on to win next time out as well, because it looks a red hot race. Bodogan is 9-2. In fact, no, have we skipped? We're not doing the 5:15, or have we just?
Yeah.
Have we just skipped one?
Yeah, we must do the 5:15. We've got Coral Racing Club running the 5:15.
Producers.
All right, there we go.
Here
We
we
got carried away. Pure Foy is 11-2 favourite here. Pedro Valentino 9-1. Harry Did 10-1 with Pitney, Kodiak Thriller, and Christian David 11-1. Indavar, Kita Kotai is 11-1 as well, and it is bigger price as the rest. Again, this race last year won by Yakoulef. Threw up loads and loads and loads of winners. You'll be playing this replay back. If this isn't in your 2 for the tracker column, Tom, I'll be flabbergasted. But what wins it tomorrow?
I want to hear about the Coral Racing Club horse, Rockstar Icon side. Come on, you teed yourself up.
Yeah. No, listen. It's a big day for the Coral Racing Club. This is probably our biggest, almost most prestigious runner to be running on 2000 Guineas Day. Oliver Cole and Paul Cole train him. Won well at Lingfield under Dave Probert, who rides tomorrow. And they don't have a huge stable of horses, but they do really well. They're in very good form, the yard. And Oliver is quite really positive. A good run. He's been working well at home. He's ready. He's fit. He's drawn 4. I think not a bad place to be. So very hopeful. He had been working quite well with Thunderball, who disappointed today. That'd be the only slight negative, I think. And Thunderball, I think, is rated is 100 or something. So obviously that was deemed quite a positive. But obviously he's disappointed today. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think he's going to go really well.
Okay, right. Well, from one rock star icon to the rock star icon of the race tipping world, Tom Segal. Over to you.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm insulted.
Look, I'm not. I'm just crack on, Tom. I can't win.
Tom's gone. He's a tipster upgrade. Come on.
Harry and Keel's got a trade to catch. Clearly, Harry did for me. I like him. Exceed and Excel does well at Ascot. It does well at Ascot, but he does well at Newmarket as well. So Harry did for Harry Eustace.
Yeah, and that Kempton race, isn't it? It's done at what? 1, 2, 3. Is it three winners and 2 seconds? I think. Yeah. But yeah, but I thought that Woodhay Wonder race is really good. There's about 7 horses running out of it in this race, so I'll probably have to dutch them all for a 6-4 bet in the end.
Yeah, I came down on Tom's. How he did was one of mine. I quite like horses that get handicapped on the all weather and then go to turf, and so it was how he did for me and Pitney, who ran 3 times in the autumn, got the win, got the handicap mark, comes back here for Hugo Palmer and James Doyle, who's ridden just under 100 winners for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so Pitney, yes, nicely bred, good genes.
Listen, actually, I just want to shout out Pitney. He's trained also by Hugo Palmer, who we sponsor the Manor House stables, and by Michael Owen. And Hugo gave some encouraging remarks in his blog today. He's been working with some very good horses who've been coming out and winning. It's his first run on turf, but I think he's hopeful of a big run. He's ready tomorrow. So that's the fact that you like him, Paul. I can say the trainer certainly giving every encouragement of a decent run.
Yeah, I think he mentioned he'd be worked through his 3-year-olds, and one of them was that Grey Cuban, which won by about 20 lengths at Wolverhampton. So yeah, they are in good form. I'm really excited about this race. I think the Woodhay Wonder form is really good. So you've got Love Billy Boy, you've got Run Boy Run, and you've got City House, who were all outpaced or badly positioned in that race as well. So yeah, this will throw up winners that even as far as Glorious Goodwood, I imagine, once we get to those handicaps. So Simon, I think we're going to need an extra place at least, though.
Oh yeah, we've got 5 places. Funny, we entered this race. I was hoping it might cut up a bit, because the first 3 renewals, it's a relatively new race, were 8 runners, 10 runners, and 8 runners. So the fact we got suddenly this hugely deep field wasn't exactly what we were planning for. But no, it looks a cracker. Definitely one to keep an eye on for the future. 5 places, and I'll go for the Rockstar Icon, stay loyal to the Coral Racing Club, and Pitney for the Michael Owen Manor House Stables team.
Okay. Now, the last race isn't on TV, so I assume Tom hasn't probably gone into that. You kind of scratching your head at that 550 as well, Keel. So unless...
I'm scratching my head more about that one. I just thought the last race, there's a horse in there at a big price who has only run badly at Newmarket once, and that was on heavy ground, and that is Carolus Magnus, who's won there twice.
Yes, that's the one.
I think that is quite a big price.
There you go.
I'm with you, Keels. That's the one I looked at and ran an absolute blinder in the Cambridgeshire last year. It was last.
He's only beaten 3.5 lengths in the
furlongs
Cambridgeshire. He's won races back in the day off much higher marks.
Yeah. Okay, but he did play. He finished 1 place ahead of Dual Identity in that Cambridgeshire. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the same horse. They're running these races all the time. They're always eye-catching. Tom tips them, you tip them, and then they finish 5th, 6th, 7th, and never win. And they pop up at Ripon one day when you've forgotten about them. So. Simon, if you don't mind, we'll just rattle on to the...
I'll just quickly shout out this, just because Jim Crow was really encouraging about Rawaya in this, saying she's been working nicely at home, pick up her form, gives her a good chance of this, and the distance and course should suit. She'll appreciate any rain, she loves to get a toe, and there's been money for her, so big positive for Rawaya.
Thank you.
So while you were trying to get rid of us, Ross, we all really fancied one in the last race.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I know. I'm not even going to say why I think Chuzzlewit might run a big race, but never mind. So, how have we all been anyway? We all right? Everyone happy? The 1,000 guineas on Sunday, which is feels like a long time away, given how many horses we're going to watch running tomorrow. But let's have a rattle through this market and have a selection, and then we'll all go home and get a big sleep. Fallen Angel 3-1, Ylang Ylang is 4-1, Dan Sequence 11-2, Ramatuel 8-1, Cedar Fire 9s, Porta Fortuna is 14-1 with Pretty Crystal, Cinderella's Dream 16-1 and 25-1 and Bigger the Rest. For another classic, which traditionally is an absolute nightmare to find a winner in. I mean, you think the 2,000 guineas is bad in terms of working out what's trained on, Keels. Some horses turn up in here. They've raced once. They've barely showed any form, and they've
this is it. I mean,
I
I got the impression last year there was, the fillies all throughout last year were thinking this wasn't great, and then obviously Opera Singer comes out and wins the Marcel Boussac by 5, and you think, well, there's your superstar, and she's not turned up, and what have we got left? I don't want to knock Fallen Angel, but if I was a handicapper, I wouldn't be having her as high as 116 on last year's form. And I don't think Racing Post Ratings has got any of them anywhere near that. In the entire field. Ylang Ylang looked an out-and-out stayer when she won the Fillies Mile. I liked See the Fire on the grounds that she was just very green all of last year, which is by Sea the Stars out of Arabian Queen. If that's not a horse that isn't going to improve at the age of 3, I don't know what is. I know we've all, quite a few of us have backed Ramatuel Anti-Post because one of our producers has been going on about it for the last 4 months or so. Yeah. But the more I look at her, the less I like. Just very keen over on a return in the pre-impudence. That was 7 furlongs, her first run over that far. And she's got to get another furlong now, so I'm not sure about that. And I've had a couple of quid each way on Star Style, who's one of those that's run only once and nobody had even heard of in October. Yeah. But again, the Hannons, they know what they're doing with milers, don't they? And they put her in the Guineas this year before her first run. She won, what was a Tuppence opening race at Newby last time, really. But easily the best top speed figure on the entire card, which is, some effort for a horse making a racecourse debut and winning with her head in the chest. So I thought, I'd give her a chance at a big price, but that's a guess. Okay, Star Style, is a big price. And See the Fire, I thought was interesting. I thought she hit the front way too soon. She just didn't know what she was doing, did she? She wandered around all over the place. So I thought she's potentially the best out of that race, and she's twice the price of the winner. Yeah, and again, a lovely pedigree for a 3-year-old improver. Tom Segal, what was on your 1,000 guineas list?
Well, I've got to do this tomorrow, so I haven't actually finalised my decisions, but I can guarantee you I won't be tipping Fallen Angel, and I certainly won't be tipping Ylang Ylang or whatever it's called. I thought they were way too short, especially Aidan O'Brien's horse, who I thought, I thought it was by dint of circumstances she won the filly miles rather than her being better than the fillies against. I thought they all went for home way too soon, and she sort of fell in. So I was against her. I'm surprised they're only running one. That makes me think that maybe either the other ones in the yard aren't that great, or they think that she is very good, because I don't know, she wouldn't be for me. Dance Sequence, I could see winning actually, despite her getting beaten in the trial. When it comes to races like this, I do like horses that have had a run. I just think in the 1,000 guineas, especially over the years, it's been a good sort of way of getting into the race, because it's quite hard to win first time up. Ramatuel comes into that if she stays. But I'm with Keels. I thought Star Style was just as impressive as any of them. Anti-Post, I went for See the Fire, and I could see Fortuna running well. But Star Style was impressive. So while I haven't made my final decision, she's definitely on the list at the moment. Okay, so there's a few to throw into the mix. Simon Clare, again, it's another great lineup, but this is one of the toughest races to predict every single season.
It is. That's why we're playing the 4 places. Only one favourite in 10 years. Been some big price winners, 66-1, 14-1, 16-1 in the last 10 years. Aidan O'Brien's won it 5 times in 10 years, but only one of them was with a favourite. Obviously, he's got the one runner tomorrow. You never know. I mean, look, at the moment, she's not going to start favourite. But I think it sounds like it's one of those races that we have got time. We can watch how all the races, go tomorrow, what the ground's like, see what Tom Segal tips, and sort of then decide on his session. The only thing I would say, I have had a few quid on Fallen Angel in the week, just because Carl Burke is in great form and he is ridiculously confident in her, isn't he? I mean, I Kyle is a reasonably optimistic trainer, but I've never heard him come out with some of the stuff he's been saying about Fallen Angels. So it could crash and burn, but maybe she's very good and she's going to run as well as he thought. So I did lazily chuck a few quid at her. So I suppose I'm on her at the moment, but I might try and find something at a bigger price, given the former favourites in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, or just let Tom do the work for you. I guess that's what.
That's what I was really saying. I'll wait to read the paper.
Yeah. Just as Tom gets stuck into it, we can all just go. Oh yeah, I'll just back that. All right, we'll get the naps in a second. But just a quick shout out on the chat. Smug Punter said, any Star Wars related horses running tomorrow? May the 4th be with you. And I think it's worth mentioning that Dark Jedi actually does run at Thirsk tomorrow, so maybe that should be the nap for tomorrow. But let's find out, shall we? What are the best bets on 2000 Guineas Day? Starting off with you, Paul Kealy.
Me, Racing Breaks Rider in the 240 at Thirsk.
Okay, why is that?
It's a soft ground horse. It was running on ground too fast last time. Went off single figure prices for races like the Britannia and the Coral Golden Mile. Off a mark of 97 last year, dropped to 88. Going to pour down with Rono overnight. Gamble Suit. It's got a massive chance.
All right, there you go. A bit of a hunt cut action for you.
Keels, are you the one that's ruined its price from 20 to 1 to like 6 to 1? Is that you?
Yes.
Well, that was the one I was on, but then I saw the price.
I don't think the buttons that I had on would have done that much. No, it was rapidly going this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah. With all due respect, Tom, I mean it's pot kettle black if you're having a go at someone for ruining a price about a horse they fancy, isn't it? But what's your nap?
My nap is at Goodwood, funnily enough. Marcella in the 205, Andrew Balding's 3-year-old in the fillies listed race down the bottom. Marcelina or something?
Marcelina.
205. I thought she was crying out for the soft ground. She's got a real soft ground pedigree, all German soft ground pedigree. She's had a run, got plenty to find, but 3-year-old's she gets loads of weight. She gets stones off some of these, and I thought she was going to run really well.
Marcella in the listed race.
Marcella, that's it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, Simon Clare, we've had one from Thirsk, one from Goodwood. Anything at Hexham for you, or do you fancy napping at Newmarket?
No, I should have found one there. No, I'm going to go for the race we nearly weren't allowed to talk about, which is Rewea in the 550 under Jim Crowley at Newmarket, which she's about 5 to 1 chance.
Okay, very well. And I'll go for Dapper Valley in that 3-year-old sprint handicap. Due to the massive jockey upgrade, got me right on pelting from Mr. Tom Segal. Okay, thank you ever so much. Great, lovely stuff. I hope it's as good a weekend as it looks on paper. We won't be back until the Derby and Oaks for In the Know. In the meantime, I'll come back as a married man. So we'll see. We'll see how.
And it'll be my birthday on Oaks Day.
And it'll be your birthday on Oaks Day as well.
Yeah.
What a world! Oh, it's all going on. Tom, any major life things happening between now and the Derby or Oaks?
No, I might go for a walk and get out of the house one day, but apart from that, no.
Oh, what a treat! Simon, anything coming up for you?
No, just got 16-year-old son doing GCSEs and an 18-year-old daughter doing A-levels, so it's tense. It's tense in the house at the moment.
Oh right, yeah, that sounds lovely. Really relaxing. Really relaxing. But remember,
I might go for a walk with Tom.
Look, Simon, it's not, and just tell them if it doesn't work out at school, there's always these jobs available to them.
That's the threat. I'm saying that makes them study harder.
You watch In to Know for an hour. If you don't want to be like these guys, get A's in your A levels. Anyway, thanks ever so much for everyone to watching. Like the stream. See you next time.